This video is partly made possible by Gigabyte.
Hello guys, welcome back to yet another video review. My name is Maurits and today I will be reviewing a product that I've waited a very long time for to review. Now it's the Fractal Design Arc Midi size tower case, and well, let's get into it. To start off, let me just quickly explain that Fractal Design stands for quality, Scandinavian design and functionality. Still, their cases are very affordable. In the past we've tested several of their cases and now they're really getting noticed, partly of the very popular R3 case. With this Arc Midi Tower case, Fractal Design has intended to achieve following goals. They've designed something really discreet and sober and very Scandinavian, but yet offer an incredible and overwhelming amount of cooling options. I don't think you can find this amount of cooling options in a lot of cases in this segment of the market. After all, this case can be yours for just about 90 euros, depending from where you buy it from, of course. It weighs in at 10 kilograms, which is fairly light. As the other Fractal Design cases, this Arc Midi looks less tall and a little longer than most mid-side tower cases. You can pause here for full specs. Let's just head to the front panel then. Neatly engraved, you can find the Fractal Design logo up top here, nicely integrated in the front cover, which is actually plastic but with a very accurate brushed aluminium look. Definitely a great design choice here. Beneath this logo you can find just two 5¼ inch drive bays. If we go even lower, the front frank grille, which takes up most of the front panel, is revealed. You can equip it with two 140mm fans, of which one is already included. You cannot install smaller fans here though, and the panel comes off easily by pulling from the bottom. A fan is installed like this by using these clips. The dust filters are really high quality and are pre-fitted, so that you can only clean them with pressured air or a vacuum cleaner. These do stop more dust though, but block the airflow a little more than other dust filters. Fractal Design includes a 5¼ to 3¼ inch drive bay adapter and a drive bay cover, so you can install devices like floppy disk drives in this case. A regular 5¼ inch device is installed as follows: by removing the thumb screws on either side of the bay, then sliding the device into place, and you conclude by securing the drive back into place with these screws. If we take a look at the front I/O ports, we can happily find a USB 3.0 port alongside two USB 2 ports of the previous generation. Next to these there is the power button with integrated power LED and hard disk drive activity LED, which is very nice, and the front audio and microphone jacks. And then there's a minuscule reset button on the extreme left. By the way, Fractal Design now offers a USB 3.0 upgrade kit for the front I/O of some of their older cases, such as the Define R3 and the Define XL, which we both reviewed. On top, the huge honeycomb style fan grille is again equipped with pre-fitted dust filters. There are several fan installation options possible. You can either install three 120 or 140mm fans, or one 180 and one 120 or 140mm fan, or even install a 240mm radiator with a height up to 60mm. Now, according to MMP Tech, there may be some problems with radiator alignment and screw holes, but I cannot confirm or contradict this since I don't have a radiator lying around here. Fractal Design kindly includes a second 140mm fan for the top as well. In the back of the case, two holes for water cooling tubes passed through are fitted. In the back you can install either a 120 or 140mm fan, which Fractal Design already includes. Then there are the 7+1 expansion slots, and this one that's vertically placed you can use for the fan controller that is included. And in the bottom you can as usual install an ADX power supply. On the bottom then, Fractal Design has again used very nice and elegant silver HDPC style feet. You can easily pull out the washable dust filter here for both the PSU and the bottom fan and wash it. On the right side panel there's not a lot going on, but on the left one you can install either a 140 or a 180 intake fan. The side panels are opened by sliding the panels backwards, which is a nice system, but it's a little to get the panels in sometimes. Now we can finally take a look at the interior of this case. Again, Fractal Design has painted all 8 drive bays and 8 expansion slots white, creating a very elegant contrast in the cases inside. The top power drive cage is either removable or rotatable and is secured into place by these 2 thumb screws. All drive bays are fitted with rubber grommets to eliminate vibrations and reduce the noise produced by the hard drives. You can install 2.5-inch solid-state drives in every drive bay. In the bottom you can install power supplies with a length of maximum 170 mm if you still want to use the fan hole in the bottom. If you don't use the fan hole, you can even install a 270 mm power supply, which is really incredible. The fan that can be installed here is either a 140 or 120 mm one, so that sets the maximum cooling options to an astonishing 8 140 mm fans. For optimal noise dampening behind the power supply, there is a soft foam that fits in between your power supply and the case and reduces vibrations. The motherboard tray offers plenty of cable management holes with very good rubber inserts that don't come out as easily as with the Defiant series cases. Now there are also quite a lot of motherboard standoffs for securing zip ties too. Motherboards from ITX over micro ATX to the full ATX form factor can be installed. And there is a very large hole for the CPU cooler's retention plate, so you can easily mount and dismount the CPU cooler without taking your system completely apart. By the way, the Arc Midi tower supports CPU coolers up to 180 mm in height. Turn the case around. It shows that there's plenty of room to work behind the motherboard tray, which I will show with my system installed in this case. So let's quickly have a tour around the case with my system built in the case itself. I've tried to do it as clean as possible. I'll zoom in here. Now on the left here there aren't any cables, it's just one fan cable and 8-pin. And then here I probably can't see it well. I've used this black 24-pin extension cable here so it doesn't stick out as much, and I've used the holes here and here. Really great positioning, I think, for both graphics cards and hard drives. And then when we move to the bottom, it's a little messy down there, but that's just because I've installed this fan controller here. If you wouldn't install that fan controller, you wouldn't have these cables lying around here, so it would look a little tidier. And this is of course USB 3.0 header. Here's the audio coming through, so that's pretty okay, I think. So let's turn the case around. So this is the back of the case. It was a really nice case to work in, actually. I really like to work in this case. I haven't used an incredible amount of zip ties, and I've used the zip ties here, which were included. These are very good zip ties. You can remove them and reuse them, so that's very nice. But I had to look out, even though there's quite a lot of space here between the motherboard tray and the back panel, I had to look out that the 24-pin cable didn't stick out too far. As you can see here, it's pretty neat
There isn't a lot of room between this here and the side panel. Now I've organized it pretty okay. I think I found my way around it, but I would have liked a small motherboard standoff here, maybe to secure these cables too, but it isn't a damn point. Now, of course, if you wouldn't use the fan controller, as I said before, you wouldn't have these unsleeved cables here. So finally, let's have a listen to how loud this case actually is without the side panel. So there isn't a very large difference, but I will let you hear the difference between with the side panel and without the side panel. So let's just start it. So as you can probably see here at this fan, this is the lowest speed possible. The top fan isn't even running, and neither is the intake fan. So the main noise here is the CPU cooler. And so let's turn up the fans a little more. This is about medium settings, still very quiet. And now the front and the top fans are starting to spin as well. And this finally is the maximum setting. So this is the noise with both side panels installed. As you can hear, it is still pretty quiet, and the temperatures are okay as well. I've tested with prime and I had about 73 degrees on prime after some time, about 25 minutes. That's pretty good. Now, the reason why it's still audible, unlike the R3 and the Define XL, is because this gap here is pretty large. So it would have been nice if they'd included a Moduvent system here. So it's a really great case to work with. It's very easy and very nice to build your system in this case. Besides that, there are also a lot of cooling options. It's really incredible how many fans you can install in this case. I also really fancy the very clean design. It is simple yet striking. It attracts attention, but not like all those LED fans would do, but more in a subtle manner that I prefer. It's also great value for money if you count in all the things in this case, like the incredible amount of hard drive options, all the noise, the noise dampening in the hard drives. It's very well thought out. There's also enough room for everything, for the cables. The cable management holes are really great. The rubber around them is excellent. And to conclude, it's also pretty quiet. Yet the cooling is still okay. So that's in contrary with the Cooler Master Silencio, which Karel recently reviewed. Then the Contra, it's really weird that they didn't include a Moduvent system in the side panel. I would have been okay, I think, if I would have to pay €5 more for a Moduvent system in the side panel, as I think it would really decrease the noise even more. And finally, this isn't really a down point, but it is not as quiet as the R3 or the Define XL, but you have to bear in mind that this case uses a lot more fans and is a lot more open. To wrap it all up, I'm really tempted to give this case the Brilliant Award, but it is not completely perfect. There are some down points, and I expected it to be to be even more quiet. So I'm giving it the Awesome Award. It's really a great case. You should, if you're on the market to buy a case, really not sure which one to buy, definitely check out this one.
Really thanks for watching. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to our channel. You can always email me if you have a question at the email address mentioned below. You can also leave a comment here or on the forums where you should go to read more about the pros and cons of this case and to discuss this review or the case itself. Really big thanks to Fractal Design for sponsoring us with this case, and make sure to check them out. Thanks for watching and see you soon.